Good morning, boys and girls of the internet. Today is Saturday, November 11th, 2018. The vlog number 315. And yeah, I have something in my mind. New version of Lightroom. Now it's somewhat new. It's a version that they came out with last year. That it's like their cloud version of Lightroom, and they're just strictly calling it Lightroom CC. It was Adobe's, image. It's not really an editing program. It's more of a, a raw image editor. And for many years, the original Lightroom, the interface has kind of been the same for a long time, and it's something that I've taught myself how to use, and I've used it a lot. As you can see, there's two different versions here. I just pulled up some random video kind of showing the differences. So the classic one has a lot of in-depth tools, the original one, and it's something you get used to. Now, when they went to this, they kind of split Lightroom. They kept the original and called it Lightroom Classic CC, and it's all the same interface, whatever. A lot of people are suspecting that Adobe wants to do away with that eventually. If they do, I'll be sad. Because let me tell you, for the first time today, I decided, let me dive into the new Lightroom CC and let's see what it's like. I think they took it a step too far in terms of simplifying the interface. And there's certain things you just can't do. At least I haven't figured out how to do it, and like the options just aren't really apparent there. For example, like say if you're using a editing gradient, Lightroom has this, you can put a little gradient on something, or like maybe a circular gradient. I call it a radial gradient. That's fine. You can do that in this, but on the Classic, what I do a lot is if I use pretty much the same one over and over again, I could save the settings of that gradient to a preset. And so, like, say if I know I want to, I have one that's called like softened skin, and I drop that on someone's face, and it makes their face a little bit smoother, a little bit cleaner, and that's what I do. In this one, yeah, you can do that, but you can't tell it to save those settings that you do after you do your radial and you choose your settings for the first time. You can't save it to a drop-down preset, at least not that I could find. If I'm doing something wrong, let me know. Same thing with all kinds of other settings, like like the gradient tool, and also in the Lightroom Classic, when they brought this out, they also put some other tools with Classic. They keep, they add some. They're not ignoring Classic. They do add some things from time to time. And one of the tools they added over the last year is this thing where you can, say if you're using like either a gradient, radial brush, or even just like a regular brush that you're brushing, like your highlights or something, or if you're trying to darken something, you can actually control where that brush is affecting. You could turn on it's almost like a smart filter, and you can tell, okay, only affect this blue area here, or the skin tone. You can have an eyedropper and drop it, like only change the skin tone. You can change the tolerance of it. And it's pretty neat, especially for like changing skin tones. You can just brush the whole skin and it'll be fine. A lot of people use it a lot for fixing skies. Like say if the sky is a little bit washed out and you want to kind of bring it back a little bit blue, you can drop a gradient on it. But in the past, like when you drop a gradient, if there's like a building or something in that sky, that building will be affected, and you would have to go back in there and like brush out the building. Well, now they have where you can tell it, okay, only affect the blue of the sky, and it'll do it, and it's pretty good. It's not perfect, you know, it's not 100%, but it's, for the most part, depending on your picture, it's pretty good. For raw editing workflow, it's really one of the best tools around. This garbage, I don't know what they're trying to do. Like when I tried to export the pictures, I was like, okay, I edited a few pictures, and they pretty much look how I usually edit. How do I go and export a batch of them and put my settings? Like, for example, I usually drop a watermark in the corners of my pictures. I couldn't find that. There's no option for it. And also, it's very, like I said, everything's so simplified. They simplified it down to bare minimum, and it feels almost like a freeware app. You know what I mean? Something that, you know, you're not paying a monthly charge for. As you may know, or may not know, for a long time, I've been using not quite so, you know, not my version of Adobe products. I used Photoshop for a million years. I started to use Lightroom. I use Premiere, but I've been using. I got licenses from work. Recently, I couldn't use those licenses. They had a new thing with a licensing deal with my work and Adobe or something, or a lot of their software vendors. So just the other day, Adobe had a sale, and I couldn't pass it up. I really couldn't. And it's, I normally don't like subscription service softwares, but this one I couldn't pass up. It sounded like a really good deal, and so I'm gonna try it for like a year. I could swing, you know, the charge. It was on sale for like $30 a month for the entire package. I'm talking the entire Adobe Creative Cloud suite. That's pretty good. Because normally, like, say if you wanted their picture editing programs, Photoshop and Lightroom, just that alone is $10 a month. If you want to add Premiere to it, or, you know, if you want to add just like you know, individual packages on top of that, you can add an individual for $20 a month. There you go, already $30 if you want just 3 programs by itself. But I also, you know, not only do I use Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere, I also dabble in some After Effects sometimes too. And they have other programs too. The Creative Cloud Suite has a lot of stuff in it. Some of the stuff I'm like, what is this even? I don't understand. I didn't uninstall everything. I just installed the ones I knew I wanted, and a few of the other ones I wanted to give a shot. And yeah, so anyways, I'm now subscribed to the whole Creative Cloud package, so I'm now legit on that. That being said, this stuff, the only reason why I want to try using this is because one of the big benefits of using this is that it syncs to the cloud. And so if you're doing some editing of things, if you have the app on your phone, for example, you can sync it on your phone. Or, you know, if you have it on your, because they have a phone app, but if you have it on another computer, like I have a laptop, it will sync to that too. It'll just, you know, download all your pictures and you can continue working. So I want to give that a shot. I want to, like, hey, let me try this. So if I bring my laptop somewhere, I can just continue working. But maybe I just, you know, this is a good tutorial. I just pulled this up at random. Maybe I should watch this and see if there are more things to Lightroom CC that I'm not getting. Because I'm, like I said, I'm right now I'm so used to the Lightroom Classic that this is like going up. It feels like a big step backwards. And I don't know. I don't know what was Adobe thinking with this. It is faster. Don't get me wrong. It's not so, doesn't feel so sluggish as Classic. Maybe because of my Classic one, I have so many pictures in it, and like just working with so many pictures, it has a hard time. But this one feels faster. But how much longer will that feel faster if I import all my, I only imported like 100 pictures in there just to kind of go through them. They changed some of the shortcuts, so that will take me to get used to, like just some. Usually when I go through and import pictures, I go to like pick the ones that I like. Usually picking, you just hit P for pick. This is when you hit Z. So it's like clear across the other side of the board, and to unpick or to unselect is Z or something, or X, I forget. So it's, yeah, Z to pick, X to reject. Before, I think it is X to reject before, so I guess that's kind of a good thing if you put the things together, but I actually don't ever reject photos. I just pick the ones I want, and the other ones are not picked, I don't touch, I don't deal with. They leave the star ratings, but they don't, for some reason I can't find, usually you can color rate something. Like you can put it in a category of colors, and that's what I do to kind of organize some of my pictures. This one I can't figure it out. I played with it a little while ago for about an hour or so, which is of course nowhere near as much time as you really need to really dive deep into a program, or you think a deep program like Lightroom. But this one right away I was all like, this is so shallow. Okay, I found all my tools, and also things like cropping. Usually I crop my photos to 11 by 17 if it's like a long photo or something. This one just doesn't have that option. It has you have custom, or they have a couple of presets, but if I want it exactly 11 by 17, you can't tell it exactly 11 by 17. You can't tell it like a preset of a crop or something. Like, this is the crop dimensions I want. It's just not there. So all in all, like, so far I'm kind of disappointed in this, switching back to my old Lightroom until I can really learn myself the new Lightroom, and I'll decide if it's important, if it's good enough to fit my needs. Right now it's not fitting my needs. So that's it. That's my impressions for the new Lightroom Cloud version, and just not liking it at all. Let me know what you think if you used Lightroom, the new Lightroom, and what you think compared to the old Lightroom Classic. Tell me if you like the old one better, or if you like the new one better, and why. I really want to know. I'm curious to see what professionals might think about this. So that's it for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Everybody have a good day. Love you.